you're working toward a college degree now, it's probably coming with a lot of uncertainty attached, and with jobs scarce and career paths unclear, you won't hear gloom or doom from the Kairos Society. That's a student organization that's actually proving that the young business person is still very much alive.
Reinvent the American dream. That is the goal of the Kairos Society. It's the exclusive organization of college students aiming to become entrepreneurs.
Student founded, actually, and the whole goal there is take on the big challenges in the world with entrepreneurs.
So you can imagine right now in these tough times, traditional pathways are kind of disappearing for college students. But in a way, these tough times have actually been the best for young entrepreneurs around the country. I mean, historically, some of the most successful companies have been started during times like these.
If you look around, I mean, it's here. This is a global network of young professionals from around the world.
My name is Chen Bo. I'm from Shanghai, China.
I'm a student at the University of Chicago.
Kashmira Pramanik from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee.
Now, some of the biggest and brightest innovations come from young people, as we've seen on this show. Well, today we're going to introduce you to the Kairos Society. You're going to want to check this out because the people who are members of this are the CEOs of the future, in a good way, by the way. These are the people who are going to make decisions about innovation that are going to influence you for the rest of your life.
But these are the guys who are going to find the next innovative solutions to some of these big problems, like clean tech, education, healthcare.
If you really have something that you believe in or that you see potential in, you should go out there and just figure out a way to make it work and not let other people tell you what you can and can't do.
We believe that we could change the lives of the rural area people and our country. That's our mission, and that's how we work.
You do have quite a few people in the current business system, leaders and big CEOs that are helping to sort of encourage the entrepreneurs in your group.
Just check out some of the mentors of this group. Bill Gates, Bill Clinton, Peter Diamandis of the X Prize Foundation, Duncan Niederauer. He's the CEO of the New York Stock Exchange.
At this time, you're seeing an unprecedented partnership between the experienced leaders of today and the leaders of tomorrow.
In previous times, college entrepreneurship was confined to campus borders, and most entrepreneurs were confined to national borders. But Kairos transcends these boundaries because in our interdependent world, there are no borders when it comes to the pressing issues we all face.
So I want to thank everyone for having me here today. About 5 years ago, we started the Kairos Society to go out around the world and find the smartest undergraduate engineers, scientists, design, and business students with one simple question. What would the world look like today if the most influential people were best friends 20 years ago, working to change the way we live? Over the past 4 years, we've seen the growth of over 100 companies coming out of Kairos, taking on the big challenges like education, clean tech, healthcare, clean water. If you look at the top awards for people under 30 in innovation, more than half the people now come through this organization. And so today, I come here to ask ourselves, what do we, as entrepreneurs, as doctors, as scientists, need to ask ourselves if we want to build and invest in companies that will not just solve problems, but fundamentally change the way we live for the generations to come? How can we be pioneers that move the world forward? Now, what's exciting about working with students is students aren't industry experts. They don't know what does and doesn't work. You're not confined by that way of thinking. And that freedom of thought is what allows the beginning of disruptive innovation. But at the same time, one of the most challenging issues when you go out and you say, I want to change the world, I want to solve healthcare, is where in the world do you start? What is that right question? And so one of the things that we've been looking at is how do we bring in world leaders like the people in this room, the experts, to drill down on that question. And I'll give you an example. A lot of people in healthcare talk about how can we make diagnostics better? How can we find out what is wrong with people? And that tends to be where a lot of entrepreneurs start. But when you talk to doctors, when you talk to experts in this field, it becomes clear. What if we re-ask that question in a slightly different way? What if we ask, what would it take to, like we said earlier, change behavior to create wellness and early detection? Because 80 to 90% of things like diabetes can be prevented. And so this year, we've gone out to some of the top biotech companies, and have just teamed up with Johnson & Johnson to bring together the brightest young minds around a very specific focus area of, can we create mobile solutions for wellness and early detection? And can we enable these young leaders to think about how we can leverage existing technology, existing research, to solve problems in entirely new ways? And I want to just give you one last example before we go on to an exciting interview right after this, which is that when you look at even problems like diagnostics, the world is ripe for disruption. Just recently, the X Prize announced 2 new prizes. The Nokia X Challenge, saying, can we develop new sensors to monitor what's going on in our body, complementing this new movement of quantified self. And then a $10 million prize to create a digital doctor that can diagnose patients better than 10 board-certified doctors automatically. Now think about how that changes the world. Think about the power of these young minds when you set them free on creating entirely new disruptive ways to solve these problems. Today, we're going to have an interview with legendary investor Vinod Khosla, who not only invests in some of these disruptive technologies, but has a radical idea for just how the world might look in 10 years if some of these crazy disruptive ideas come to fruition. So with that, I want to thank you all.